A very good evening and a warm welcome to UBC News tonight on this 9th day of January 2026. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto, together with my colleague in sign language interpretation, Dorothy Namuyomba. We do welcome you this evening. Now, before we get into tonight's news bulletin, let's first take a look at the top stories tonight. And in our top stories tonight, President Museveni meets West Nile leaders, pledges to recognize West Nile as an independent region. Prime Minister Robina Nabanja assures Pakwach of government commitment to service delivery. Government releases Q3 funds totaling to over 16 trillion shillings. And ICGLR election observers arrive in the country to assess the 2026 polls. Good evening once again. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has committed to establishing an industrial park, providing compensation for war victims in the West Nile region and considering the recognition of West Nile as an independent region. Museveni made the commitments during a meeting with NRM leaders from West Nile held at Muni University in Arua City. We have the details.
With only a few days to the presidential general elections, candidates are making final campaign engagements. Candidate President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in his final engagements on Friday met about 13,000 NRM leaders from the West Nile sub-region. During the meeting, Museveni committed to establishing an industrial park compensating war victims in West Nile and considering the recognition of the sub-region as an independent region. The pledges followed issues raised by NRM leaders in a joint memorandum presented to the president.
Currently working with the North, and we know that West Nile, that's why it is unique. It is called West Nile in English. We are on this side of the Nile. So we feel we need a special attention, and we know you love us and you will do it. And we are requesting for more administrative units, especially for big districts like Yumbe. We also believe we need 3 more divisions in Arua City, which is going to make service delivery effective. You are the father of decentralization.
So I'm glad Bakoko is saying bring a back here. Very good. Get me land. I need a big land. I don't want 2 acres, 3 acres. I need a square mile. Now, regarding the status of West Nile as a region, that's no problem. We shall discuss that and make it a region like we did Karamoja. And about restocking, we shall plan for that. That's no problem. That's good news. But we started with the Acholi, Lango, test area because West Nile has not had wars recently.
After listing his administration's achievements like peace, development, job creation and wealth creation, Museveni says Uganda has capacity, urging Ugandans abroad to return and develop their motherland.
Love Africa.
Bama lenga Africa ni.
Why? Because you need it.
Adoskone ele Africa ni ra.
If you try to depend on markets of other people, they keep changing.
Akasi baba mvedi madria yo ini le tuwa di ke drojar si odu elolo se.
You can say, like Mr. Trump, I like Mr. Trump so much myself.
President America Trump rida echeta se ale resaro.
He has said, don't come here now to America.
Kini le ba zime ba depa America do ako.
I said, thank you so much for chasing those wanderers.
Akina odi for minimal epi mpirale de odro firisi.
What are they going to do in America?
Afandinga ini mu yarale re adoni.
I don't want to go anywhere. I am here. Where are you going?
Ma do ado afandima mu yarale re adoni.
So I love Trump.
Ale Trump ni sa ro yo ni yede be.
For chasing you.
Odi for ni mi odro terisi.
People who don't care about their country, they always go all over the place.
Museveni also continued to preach his wealth creation message, encouraging residents to engage in commercial agriculture and take government alleviating programs seriously, noting that such initiatives not only increase household incomes but also create employment. Tomorrow, Saturday, the president is expected to meet NRM leaders from the Busoga sub-region in Iganga. Philip Aguta and Gloria Gwitabinji for UBC News in Arua.
Thank you, Philip Aguta and Gloria Gwitabinji, who are in Arua City. Now, if we can just take a history look at what happened in the 2021 general elections, and we're looking at the Arua City or district then, woman member of parliament. We did see Osiru Maureen taking the lion's share with 53%, and then following next was Bako Christine Abia with 19%, and of course the others took the rest of the votes. And then looking into 2026, we see Osiru Maureen with the NRM returning for the same seat. And also I did notice that in 2021 we had Sheila Princess, and we also do see Sheila Princess as well coming back in 2026, and see also new entrants, that is a Yoru Knight under the National Unity Platform Party, and Ewachabo Sandra as an independent, as well as Samanya Daffin as an independent as well. And if we can take you back. Kaguta Museveni. All right. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has met and interacted with NRM structural leaders across the Acholi sub-region this evening from Gulu City, where he emphasized the need to mobilize support for his candidature and the party. Now, during this engagement, it was pointed out that through NRM party structural leadership and the mobilization of family and friends, they're already at a 13 million vote cast from northern Uganda, waiting the party in next week's election. We have the details.
NRM, oh yeah.
The clock towards Uganda's next week's presidential and parliamentary poll is fast ticking. political parties and candidates are strategizing.
If you want to kill a snake, you don't hit a tail.
Thousands of NRM structural leaders from Acholi sub-region have met in Gulu City to interact with their presidential flag bearer, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
The LOC3s are requesting for motorcycles.
The engagement, held at Awich Primary Teachers College grounds, attracted NRM chairpersons and local leaders at all levels from the entire Acholi sub-region.
I'm glad you're asking for new bicycles. I'll buy the new bicycles. And the bicycles are very healthy. You should cycle. They are very good exercise. I like exercises. That's why you see me here very strong when I'm 81 years old.
These were drawn from the districts of Ajumani, Omoro, Gulu City and Gulu District, Ketugum, Agago, Noya, Bader, Amur and Lamo.
How would I have managed 2 rallies a day for the last 3 or something months every day? How would I manage if I was not fit? Especially the one of the midday when the sun is very, very strong. You the leaders are always intense. Me, I'm always out there with my people with the sun on us.
Why?
My soldiers wanted to put a cover on the land. But I said, please, don't. I want to be with my people. Let's be in the sun.
The NRM party is confident that basing on ground achievements and in-depth command of support in the area, northern Uganda is in its palms.
Your Excellency, these people have agreed that when they leave here today, they are going to go back to their villages, get all people in their villages and talk to them, tell them the gains and give them a uniform message.
And in total, the 3 sub-regions have a voting population of 3.4 million registered voters. If we are using the factor tree approach, where we are talking about fish for more men and bring them, especially on the voting day, the NRM cannot lose the 2026 general election. We cannot lose from even LC1 up to our president.
The party is banking on its leaders as its starting votes.
When we do it mathematically, there are 72,000 villages in Uganda. 72,000 times the 63 people we are meeting who are leaders of NRM and the council, times 3 people that each should carry to the polling station. This is the mathematics, Your Excellency. We will have a voting population to start with 13.6 million voters. That is the minimum. 13.6 million voters would cast their votes in favor of NRM on the 15th, on the 22nd, and on the 4th.
Issues stressing the region includes resettling and compensating war claimants. According to the president, government has so far spent 159 billion shillings to address the complaints and claimants, although the exercise has met its own challenges.
Also, many things were destroyed. People died, buildings destroyed, time wasted. But my approach is always a peaceful approach. I say, okay, if they say we compensate, let's start.
Museveni now says after elections, a way forward will be charted to dust off this matter.
Let the money stay on the account, and then we have time to discuss properly how to move, all of us.
Museveni will hold a similar engagement for Busoga sub-region in Iganga district this Saturday. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Thank you, Robert Onyango, for that report. Now, if I can take you down memory lane in Gulu City. Now, for the woman member of parliament, if we can look at some of those who stood then, we had a winner. That's the NRM party, did take the lion's share with 30%, and that was under Laker Sharon Balmoy, who took the 30% of about 6,145 votes. And then came in second, the DP party, that is with Okello Goretti Odoki with 21%, equivalent to 4,331 votes. And then coming in third, Atim Betty with 17%. And then we have Amono Rose Alice Abili with 12%. That is in 2021. And now also, we can take a look also in 2026. Ayo Janet, coming in under the NRM party. This is new. And of course, for the National Unity Platform, we have Lalam Irene. UPC sends a team Maureen. And of course, we do have independent Anyadwe Filda, of course, all vying for the same seat. That is the Gulu woman member of Parliament. Now, if we can also look at the Aswa County, which is also in the same region. In 2021, we saw Wokorach Simon Peter taking the lion's share with 33.71%. And then, of course, coming in second, Okello Patrick Onguti, with 30.88%, equivalent of 5,855. And then we see Kinyera Christopher also there with 19%. For more than 2 decades, northern Uganda's politics were shaped by the sound of gunfire. Today, they are shaped by the existence of peace and the footprint of development. NRM leaders say the silence of guns did more than restore calm. It opened Acholi to progress, and with it, a decisive shift in political support towards the NRM. Henry Okrut has more.
For years, conflict defined northern Uganda's politics. But today, NRM leaders say peace has rewritten the script. State Minister for Works, Musa Francis Echweru, expresses confidence in voters choosing stability over uncertainty.
While the rest of the other people are doing campaigns, the rest of the presidential candidate, President Museveni is teaching, is more of a teacher. In all the rallies you find is just teaching Ugandans on what they should do for their country, and so it is a good development. So he's going to win, that one I can be sure of.
This is because the end of the war freed Acholi to openly support President Museveni and the ruling party. Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Engineer Hilary Onek, knows this too well.
In the whole of Acholi sub-region, the NRM is currently doing very well. And I think the voting this time will be at a different level compared to the past. And this is because the people have become more aware, politically more aware, and they know what they want.
This point of view is shared by other leaders of Acholi, as Agago District Woman Member of Parliament, Beatrice Akelo Okori, reinforces the message.
They have also realized that they have been deceived by opposition for so long, and after election, they don't receive any benefit, they don't see any development, and they've realized that it is only NRM government under the leadership of General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni that can develop northern Uganda.
These people, they look upon the 8 candidates and they see who is there really to sustain the peace that they are enjoying today in this sub-region.
Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among Annette, said stability unlocked government programs, turning development into political capital for the NRM.
These people can be able to do whatever they want. They are staying in their homes, they've reclaimed back their land, and they have very good infrastructure. They have roads, they have hospitals, they have schools. Now they have all the hope they see. They see the hope in President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
The speaker also clarified that cattle compensation in Acholi and other regions will be handled through a structured and transparent process.
Since we want equity in the whole process, the president decided that we should now give every household 5 cows. or equivalent of 5 cows. Verification has started, and so far 80 billion shillings has been put aside for that, and we are going to put more money come this financial year.
Leaders from Toroko and Singiro joined the call, urging Acholi voters to back the NRM for continuity.
Of the peace, the development we are seeing in the region, we need President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to be in that position.
If President Museveni have been voted and elected as the president, please accept the results and know that that is it.
Our people needed the war to stop. The war ended. We are now in a different phase.
From war scars to ballot power, NRM leaders say Acholi's story has changed, and so has its politics. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The Alliance for National Transformation presidential candidate, General Retired Mugisha Muntu, has told the people of Fort Portal Tourism City that newly created cities are struggling to function effectively due to severe funding constraints and a lack of proper government planning. Muntu was campaigning in Fort Portal City in Kabarole district as the 2026 general elections draw closer.
General Mugisha Muntu has criticized the government's policy of creating cities without proper planning and adequate funding.
Fort Portal is only a city in name. Also, in 2019, when Fort Portal was a municipality, its yearly budget was 30.8 billion Uganda shillings. After Fort Portal changed from being a municipality in 2019, the city has 30.8 billion Uganda shillings.
While addressing his supporters in Harubao, Kasuso, Chibimba, Chitumba and Fort Portal City, Muntu said Fort Portal City still receives almost the same budget as a municipality despite being a tourism city.
What should make a difference between a township and a municipality and a city is a budget. So if you have the same budget but a change of name, what exactly does that mean?
He said creating cities should align with the pressing needs of the people and not to serve the interests of politicians. Muntu warned the people of Fort Portal and the Kabarole district that if they don't vote for change, they risk facing similar setbacks.
The politics of deception in this country are simply mind-boggling. But I would like to talk direct to the elite, those of you who are educated. Maybe someone who is not educated could easily be deceived, but those who are educated should know.
Fort Portal City was elevated from a municipality to a tourism city status in 2020-2021 financial year. Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
The Forum for Democratic Change presidential candidate Nathan Nandala Mafabi has revealed that the party is to put some strategies to ensure members of the party and voters are able to monitor their vote come 15th January. Speaking during a campaign rally at Bungoho sub-county grounds in Mbale district, Mafabi advised voters to install VPN on their phones to keep connected and also take pictures of declaration forms for future reference.
Elected Electoral Commission started dispatching equipment to be used in the 15th general elections to different districts across the country with less than 10 days to polling day. The Forum for Democratic Change presidential candidate Nathan Nandala Mafabi reiterates his call to the Electoral Commission to conduct a free and fair election and security organs to also exercise their mandate without hurting voters.
Don't you get the materials and start mismanaging it? We give them, we hope it is going to be kept safe. We're telling the security people, Uganda belongs to all of us. All the security forces, you must know this country belongs to all of us. We don't want our country to be in frames, papers, our vote to change government. So we're pleading with the security, keep the vote very safe. We're pleading with the EC, make it a leveled playground. If you steal a vote, God is there waiting for you.
The candidate has spent Friday traversing sub-counties and towns in Mbale district soliciting for votes.
I think because we're lucky God gave us good soils, we grow coffee, and the Bugisu Cooperative Union has been working. But if it was government in, by now our kilo would be going of coffee at 60,000. But now we sell at 18,000, 17,000. Now, the reason why we have it there because of Bugisu Cooperative Union. You have seen our roads are dusty. These roads could have been tarmacked by now, but because of corruption in Uganda, they have not. In fact, the whole country, because of deliberate government policies. In Bugisu, every election has come up with a policy, but none of this program has made our people better.
During his first rally at Bungoko sub-county playgrounds, Mafabi advised voters to install VPN in case internet goes off on polling day in order to keep connected.
To activate VPN, VPN is most important, but also we're trying to work out this other mechanism. I want to assure you, we shall provide you an alternative which you don't want to discuss now for security reasons. But we want you to activate VPN, where take a picture, and we shall be directing you where to go next. So we want you to protect your vote.
At Bubombi, Mafabi received a warm welcome and also opened FDC party office in Bugisu sub-county. He was accompanied by Balayo Jonan, the Bugonko South FDC parliamentary candidate. The candidate held campaign rallies in Lunkenge sub-county, Namawanja town and other sub-counties in Mbale district. Farida Namfoka and Helen Gizamba compiled this report.
The First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, has commissioned a 25.6 billion shillings Uganda Vocational and Technical Assessment Board Assessment Center. In a move, government says will strengthen skills training and certification in the country. Now, the state-of-the-art facility located at Chambogo Hill will serve as a national hub for skills, curriculum development, assessment and certification under the ongoing technical and vocational education training reforms.
Speaking at the commissioning ceremony, the Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, said the centre marks a major milestone for the education sector, noting that government can now fully finance permanent infrastructure for its institutions.
Our hope as government is that we shall see greater efficiency in TVET curricula and assessment work because of the added benefit of being under one home in the same location. With 25.6 billion shillings to establish this facility is now going to be a point of reference for other government agencies.
She emphasized that infrastructure alone is not enough, calling on UVTAB to ensure that the facility is grounded in purpose and delivers credible, industry-relevant assessments in line with the TVET Policy 2019 and the TVET Act 2025. The First Lady noted that bringing curriculum development and assessment under one roof is expected to improve efficiency, coordination, and quality in skills training.
I also want to thank God for allowing those of us who are here today to witness the remarkable milestone of a permanent home for the UVTAB Assessment Center. It is a milestone that we celebrate as the NRM government because there was a time when the state could not raise enough resources to fully fund the construction of permanent homes for its ministries, departments, or agencies. My prayer is that this magnificent facility that houses the headquarters of the Skills Curriculum and Assessment Center becomes grounded in purpose and not a mere infrastructure to be celebrated. What gives meaning to a house is not its appearance or materials that were used to build it, but its use.
The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education and Sports, Dr. Kedres Triagenda, hailed the commissioning as the visible fruit of sustained education reforms under the leadership of government, adding that the center will enhance the credibility and integrity of national skills assessment systems.
This environment continues to enable the country to plan, invest, and deliver critical infrastructure for national transformation. Mama, we are a foundation as the education sector, but we are also the engine of the transformation of this nation.
The Executive Secretary of UVTAB, Onesmus Oyesije, said the center was constructed using Government of Uganda funding and completed on time within the budget without cost variation. Oyesije revealed that before the construction of the facility, the former assessment board operated from rented premises, costing government over 300 million shillings annually, an expense now eliminated.
The government of Uganda can easily finance such an investment on its own. Therefore, Mama, the slogan protecting the gains rhymes well with the current circumstances, both political and economical. We have seen you and the president telling people that we protect the gains. I think you are telling the truth.
The commissioning of the UVTAB Assessment Center is seen as a key step in government's drive to produce a competent industry-ready workforce to support national development and industrialization. Nals Bawini, reporting for UBC.
With a few days remaining to the polls of presidential and parliamentary elections, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robinah Nabbanja, spent part of Friday campaigning in Kakindo and Chikwaya sub-counties, Kakumiro district, calling on voters to turn up and vote for the NRM flag-bearer, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Nabbanja, who is also the incumbent woman MP, has promised to deliver socials like roads, schools and health centers.
Mukama muliyo ale osemererwe kubarora amazima ga Ruhanga asemererwe nebale emirimo kubasabo wa President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni kubasaba nanyo bwange bajja mu mbererewo kyaluko kakamabeereyewo kujuka tuwombeka ekereziya kujuka tutambuza amasanyalaze kujuka oluguudo lumu tuli kubi babeereirewo nanyo mu mbeererewo abalambeererawo bara abakwagira nabanya emikono haiguru kubasaba akalulu kange kubasaba akalulu ka Museveni akahanda kanyu kabanyire amasanyalaze nga manyire tukagapima tujja gakora tuyina ekizibu ekindi eky'amaizi amaizi garoho bangambe tigakaizire
agatapu garo amaizi gali omurugoigo gakakangano naye bangambe tigakwijja mukwati galina pressure matoito pressure ntoito ate ebyo nibyo tujja kukola
nuko kandi mukama tusaba otuwezesa amaiso gaitu garole kurungi ebasi nkoko isana nkoko eriya yelo nuko tusobole okuteeka ekintu mu kyaitu kandi obu tukoma abakulembeze baitu abo atukomeireira mukama ntubisaba tubamba mukristo mukama waitu n'omukisa gwarongo omusozi wa byona ititwe na mwana na mwoyo mwingine kubasirimukeho kandi gwikale na akiki waitu right honorable na bandaro bina akiki majegere mukama wikale n'omulinda kandi mukama ebiro 15 abyame kurungi abo kuboka mukama muyira
kubasaba mu nyamba abakazi bantu batera karunalo na mutima asigaire yenda kwezi lumo ibiri isatu ina itano olwamukaaga tukuba mu bokisi ate abakuja kuwagira nyowe balika abakuwagira Museveni bara kisaidoye kisaidoye abakuwagira Museveni aiguru.
UBC News Tonight. The Prime Minister Robin Anabanja has met leaders of Pakwach district and reaffirmed the government's commitment to improving service delivery in the area. The Prime Minister was in Pakwach to follow up on issues raised by residents during President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's visit to the district in October as part of his nationwide campaign activities.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni,
Prime Minister Robin Anabanja has assured residents of Pakwach that the government is addressing concerns raised during the recent NRM presidential candidates' campaign engagements in the district. Key among the concerns are illegal fishing activities on the River Nile and the conduct of the Fisheries Protection Unit in enforcing fishing regulations. Nabanja said President Museveni has already taken decisions on the matter, including the establishment of a special fund aimed at supporting fishing communities affected by enforcement measures.
Regarding your concerns, which you gave the President about the illegal fishing and the operations of the Fisheries Protection Unit, the President has already acted. He has acted, as you are aware.
She commended residents for their continued support of the NRM government and urged them to actively participate in ongoing government development programs.
I want to thank you, the people of Pakwach, for continued support you have given the NRM government and for attending the President's campaign rally in Pakwach on 7th October 2025 in big numbers.
Meanwhile, the woman member of parliament for Pakwach district, Jane Pachuto, asked the Prime Minister to remind the President about outstanding development priorities in the district, including infrastructure and social services.
It's our hope today that you visit us as you visit us. You will remind the President that we are eagerly waiting for that commission to be instituted, because as we go through towards the first season, my people will be more than delighted to go back to their land and till the land and heed to the President's appeal that we must work to get out of abject poverty.
The Prime Minister pledged to present the concerns to President Museveni and reaffirmed the government's commitment to addressing service delivery challenges in Pakwach district.
On behalf of the President, allow me to hand over these 3 motorcycles to Pakwach district local government and
also Pakwach.
Pakwach district local government to do community work on behalf of government.
This is Kazimoto Council also.
Charity Marion Imnat and Ismail Kasoha for UBC.
We take a short break, but we return with more stories. Do not move an inch.
program has met our expectations in that it has been able to give us business.
They gave us a contract where we did a renovation at their head office. MTN trained us in their procurement process and also the IT technology.
I was struggling with managing the finances of the company. So when I went for that training, I was able to improve in financial literacy and management.
Are you a female entrepreneur looking to do business with MTN? Log on to www.mtn.co.ug/AWE. Together, our progress is unstoppable.
You see, I've been a painter for almost 4 decades, and I have found Global Paints to be very reliable. First, everyone knows we use Global Paint undercoat. Now, for the best results, I continue with Global Paints products. I go for Silk Vinyl when it comes to the interior. Then Global Matte for the ceiling, and when it comes to weatherproof, I go for Global Weather Coat Emulsion. With that one, the house will never peel. Now, there you have a sparkling, magical-looking house. And then the client is very happy. He recommends me to another person who recommends me to another person who recommended me to come and do the advert.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
Kabogos, where are you coming from?
From NSSF.
NSSF? You traveled all the way from Namavundi to get NSSF services. Rekanawe. You walk on the area. NSSF is now everywhere. Come on, I show you.
You can register for NSSF. I'll contribute to your Simate life. Now deep down in the Barada. Make NSSF payments. No hala okubekalangala. NSSF sure is not far. But tomorrow kuhika gotido. Enjoy NSSF from where you are.
Access NSSF services right where you live. With over 20,000 quick teller agents across Uganda, now you can conveniently register yourself, make NSSF payments and contributions to your Smart Life account to Ubeda. NSSF, a better life.
Blue Christmas is near. Spread the festive cheer all December with great deals right here. Shop online with Market by Momo. We deliver. Log on to market.momo.africa. Use the MyMTN app or the new Momo app to register and shop online. Market by Momo is from MTN and powered by MasterCard.
This is our home, our land, our Uganda. From the rolling hills to the busy streets, from the farmers in the fields to the students in classrooms, we are one people. Elections are a time to choose our leaders, not to fight our brothers and sisters. When violence enters the ballot box, the future of our country is wounded. But when peace leads the way, our nation grows stronger. On election day, choose unity over diversion, respect over hatred, and dialogue over distraction. Love your country, protect your fellow citizens, stand for peace, and say no to electoral violence. This message is brought to you by the Global Election Observation Mission, GEOM, in partnership with the Uganda Electoral Commission. Informed citizens, strong nation.
Unisteel Investment Uganda Limited, shaping the future of steel in East Africa and beyond. With an investment of over $100 million and a production capacity of 300,000 metric tons per annum, Unisteel is setting new standards in steel manufacturing. At our state-of-art facility, we produce TMX rebars, branded Unis TMX 500 CWR, and high-quality wire rods using only imported virgin steel billets. Every batch is tested and tracked for unmatched quality assurance. Our steel powers the region's most ambitious projects, from dams, skyscrapers, to bridges and beyond. Unisteel, superior quality, trustworthy choice.
Welcome back. Government has been asked to live within its means in order to sustain its momentum towards the realization of the development envisaged under the tenfold growth strategy. This appeal was made by Dr. Ramadan Gobi, the Finance Ministry Permanent Secretary and Secretary to the Treasury, while releasing the Q3 expenditure limits.
For the financial year 25-26, the approved budget was...
Government has released Q3 funds for the financial year 2025-2026. The total release amounts to 16.53 trillion shillings. The funds now available for utilization will cover critical areas such as wage, non-wage, treasury operations and external financing.
We are releasing a total of 16.537 trillion shillings, summarized as follows. Wage, 2.175 trillion. Non-wage, 2.898 trillion. Development budget, funded by Government of Uganda money, 514 billion. Externally financed component of the budget we are releasing is 3 trillion 277 billion, 3.277 trillion. Treasury operations to pay government obligations, 7.591 trillion. And local revenue, 82 billion shillings.
While addressing the press, Dr. Ramadan Gobi, the Permanent Secretary to the Treasury, highlighted that Uganda's economy has remained resilient amidst changes in the global environment and pressures associated with election business cycles.
The GDP grew by 6.3% last financial year, which ended in June 2025, and is now projected that it's going to grow between 6.5 and 7% this financial year, 25-26. Inflation. Inflation has remained stable, as I already said, for November and December 2025 at 3.1%. This is uncharacteristic of an election year, as you know.
He also underscored the importance of limiting unnecessary expenditures, emphasizing that government must live within its means.
We don't want to plan for resources we don't have.
Government had approved a budget of 72.3 trillion shillings for the current financial year. However, the figure has so far risen by 8.1 trillion shillings due to supplementary budgets. Dennis Igoa for UBC.
Thank you, Dennis Sigoa. Police have arrested 6 members of the Conservative Party who were demonstrating at the Judiciary Headquarters in Kampala. Those arrested include the party president, John Ken Luchamuzi. The members of the Conservative Party were protesting what they describe as a prolonged delay in the hearing of a case they filed last year. The case challenges the failure by the Electoral Commission of orders issued by the Supreme Court through its several decision in presidential election petition regarding electoral laws.
We don't want to pull ourselves or whatever. Let us organize and move peacefully from here. It's a request at the moment.
It's okay.
I'm requesting you because what we are doing is not expect to be done from here. I'm giving you due respect. Can we organize and we move out peacefully from here?
Yes, I agree with you. But before
okay, can we move?
Have you known why we are here? You first find out.
You will inform me. What we are doing is contrary. Let's move. You will inform me later. Allow me, make a round. Let's go.
So I came with a mattress to spend a night, all nights, at the High Court, the Constitutional Court, because I'm begging for justice. This nation is our nation. They have denied me to have justice, so I'm against that. So that's why I'm here.
Now, youth in South Rwenzori Diocese in Kasese District have been asked to maintain peace and security in the country if they are to benefit from government programs. The call was made to over 1,000 youths at South Rwenzori Diocese during the Youth Brigade and Students Convention with the theme of Anchored in Christ for Unity, Stability and Peace. Colonel Edith Nakalema, the head of State House Investors Protection Unit, was the key speaker at the function.
You young people, if you stick to Jesus Christ, you will eat and you will dine with kings and queens. Praise the Lord. And His Excellency President, you were all his mind together with Mama is on the young people.
We have a 10-year strategic plan. Objective number 1 is to ensure that we reach out to all ages of people that we have in the diocese. Sunday school.
I called upon all parents to ensure that we send our children for such conferences so that they can be enhanced in terms of religion, in terms of way of life.
We have been encouraging young people who have decided to put on a helmet of salvation, and it's what I was demonstrating, that in a helmet of salvation is where they will find the peace, and then they will be able to obey leaders when they are in salvation, and they will keep the peace, and our country will remain stable because our leaders have already brought in the peace and the stability that we all must keep. It is our duty to keep the peace, and the young people have many years to live to transform the country, to transform other nations, to add value to themselves and to others. And so today I was very, very humbled and privileged indeed to have shared the word of God anchored on peace, stability and security.
The Electoral Commission has intensified preparation for the 2026 general elections by training regional stakeholders to ensure smooth, transparent and fair elections while embracing the mandatory use of the biometric voter verification kit. We have more details.
With less than a week to the 2026 general elections, the Electoral Commission Friday met stakeholders who will guide the polling activities for 2026 general elections while embracing the new technology of the biometric voter verification kit, BVVK.
Is a must use. Most people were worried in this training. They were wondering, are you sure this will work? Yes, it's an offline thing, so those who were worried about the internet being off, it will not be off. Every polling station has 2 kits, meaning if one fails, another will work. And besides, we don't expect it to fail because we have tested it and retested it and confirmed that it can handle the activity of that day. But people should know that the use of BVVK is a must. You have to be scanned so that you will confirm that you are a voter of that area.
A voter enters the polling station. He or she will first interact with the BVVK operator, the biometric voter verification kit operator, who will verify them and their names and their particulars on the register.
The biometric voter verification kit that only takes 30 seconds to verify a voter is aimed at restoring confidence among the electorate that their vote counts. The purpose is to ensure a free and fair election come 15th January.
Is improving transparency, reducing impersonation and multiple voting. This business of ballot stuffing and all that, I think that one died with the last election. So we expect a better election.
According to Godfrey Msinguzi, the Electoral Commission legal officer, the law permits the Commission to adopt to the new technologies, hence the introduction of the BVVK in next week's election.
A presiding officer who fails to use the biometric voter verification system or biometric voter verification kit in accordance with these regulations commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 6 currency points or to...
The public has been cautioned to follow electoral guidelines. The emphasis has been put on the mandatory use of the BVVK, short of which they will be denied to vote. Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
Voters in Karamoja sub-region have been advised to remain at least 20 meters away from the polling stations after voting to avoid overcrowding at polling centers. The Karamoja Electoral Commission coordinator Lino Sokori made the call during a regional stakeholder sensitization workshop ahead of the forthcoming general election scheduled to begin next week on the 15th.
The Electoral Commission in the Karamoja sub-region has held a regional sensitization workshop for stakeholders ahead of the general elections set for Thursday with presidential and parliamentary polls. During the meeting, participants were educated on the voting process. However, some leaders expressed concern that the voting process may not adequately suit the majority of the Karamojong population, citing low levels of voter awareness.
Very complicated, especially for our illiterate population, and with the poor voter education, I see a lot of challenges, especially for our communities who have not gone to school. And I'm just saying this because in the last elections, Kabong had over 10,000 invalid votes.
I wish this kind of training had come early, and it goes right up to the parish level. Maybe it would have helped the great deal.
Leaders also raised concerns over the presence of security personnel during elections and the possibility of voter bribery.
It's distributed in the night, door to door, on the eve of elections to influence the voters. And there are those voters who don't care. They receive those funds. They receive stolen.
To record those doing the bribery at the night, take photos if possible, bring it forward as a petition. I was telling you, petitions continue even after election day.
Participants were further trained on the use of biometric voter verification kits.
During the voting, so during the election process, it will work offline. So we will not have issues of Tapach network is not getting, I cannot.
All the fingerprints, when all the fingerprints fail to be scanned, you opt to use a facial recognition.
The Karamoja Sub-Region Electoral Commission coordinator, Okori, advised voters to leave polling stations and remain at least 20 meters away after casting their votes.
Step aside 20 meters away, so that you don't crowd polling stations.
The meeting was attended by top security officials from the UPDF, police and prisons, resident district commissioners, religious leaders, candidates, elders and representatives of special interest groups from across the Karamoja sub-region.
Still in reference with the upcoming general elections that begin next week, here's a declaration of a public holiday, and it reads as follows. In exercise of the powers conferred upon the President by Section 2, Subsection 2 of the Public Holidays Act, I declare 15th and 16th January 2026 to be observed as public holidays throughout Uganda, for the purpose of enabling citizens to participate in the presidential and parliamentary elections. Given under my hand and the public seal this 8th day of January 2026. Signed, Yoweri K. Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda. We take a short break, but return with more after these messages.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
The Ministry of Works and Transport, in collaboration with the Uganda Police Force, is rolling out the mandatory motor vehicle inspection services as one of the interventions to improve road safety, protect the environment, and safeguard the health and well-being of the public. The key items for inspection are the braking system, suspension system, the lighting system, the exhaust emissions, and the general mechanical conditions of the vehicles, among others. The exercise has commenced for all government vehicles, public service vehicles PSVs, operating on fixed routes with route charts, private omnibuses PMOs, tourist vehicles, and those as may be referred by the Uganda Police Force in a dangerous mechanical condition. Other categories including private vehicles, light omnibuses, taxis, trucks and motorcycles will begin on a date to be communicated by the Minister of Works and Transport. The vehicle inspection centers are Kawanda on Bombo Road and Namamve on Jinja Road for motorcycles, light and heavy vehicles, Nabingo on Masaka Road and Namulanda on Entebbe Road for motorcycles and light vehicles. Mbale, Gulu and Bara inspection centers are for all categories of vehicles. The inspection fees have been significantly reduced to ensure compliance. Get your vehicles ready for inspection. Safer vehicles, safer road users, safer journeys. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Works and Transport.
Welcome back from that break. In more stories this evening, older persons have been urged to continue playing a critical role in promoting good governance, wealth creation, and the protection of land rights. The call was made by Dominic Mfabi Gidudu, State Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Elderly Affairs, in a message delivered for him by Commissioner Prosper Muhumuza during the January Older Persons Symposium held in Zambia.
Delivering the minister's message, Prosper Muhumuza urged older persons to remain active contributors to sustainable development, emphasizing that promoting older persons is not charity, but the protection of their rights.
Tuteeseteesa abantu okugenda nga tubanyonyola nga ffe abakadde ffe tulina engeri y'obukodyo abedde engeri gye baatabaganya abantu nga balina enkaayana mu by'ettaka obw'ebyobusa kubanga buli muntu aba amanyi ensalo z'oli we zikoma oba yazikyusa kwega n'ajjayo bwino nga talinako kyekubira.
Former Minister for Older Persons, Honorable Sulaiman Madada, highlighted the vulnerability of older persons to exploitation, noting that the Central Region Older Persons Association was formed to protect them from manipulation and ensure they are informed and supported.
We are here to explain and show our relevance in terms of guiding the young generation as they participate in the politics. At this point, I would like to call upon all elders, wherever they are, to sit with their children, their grandchildren, their workers, the young generation, especially at this time when we're a few days to the general elections, where tensions are rising.
Meanwhile, Francis Lobowa, the chairperson of CROPA, called on older persons to join the association so they can speak with one strong, non-partisan voice in advocating for their welfare.
We are saying in the 60s, during the socialism regime,
social norms and cohesion was not around financial muscle. Older persons used to be respected as elders. But as capitalism came to rule the world, issues of economic power, issues of having some income cropped up. So much as older persons currently are respected, they are only more respected when they have some financial power.
The National Resistance Movement government has been commended for reviving and liberating Uganda from tyrannical leadership and for granting citizens freedom of worship. The remarks were made by lead pastor of Miracle Center Cathedral Church, Lubaga, Pastor Robert Kayanja, during the closure of the fourth day of the Miracle Bible College 8th graduation ceremony held at the church headquarters in Lubaga in Kampala.
The fourth day of the 8th graduation ceremony saw over 1,500 students graduate in various disciplines and doctrines, ranging from beginner, intermediate and advanced certificate levels to diploma, degree and bachelor programs. Among the courses offered were literacy, leadership and other theological and life development programs.
Congratulate all those whose name has been read for having completed different levels of the literacy discipline of the Miracle Bible College. Congratulations.
With only days remaining before Ugandans headed to the polls, Pastor Kayanja used the platform to acknowledge the significant role played by the NRA and NRM government in liberating the country.
We're not supposed to be here. People must remember that. We were one of the churches that Idi Amin had banned with the decree of 1973. So when the NRM government came to power, President Museveni made it a point that every Ugandan has a right to associate, to fellowship, to meet, and that has developed the country. We look at it now and look back and said it was really a miracle.
However, Pastor Kayanja expressed concern over low agricultural productivity, noting that failure by Ugandans to effectively utilize land has contributed to food scarcity and persistent poverty in the country.
What I see in Karamoja and what I see in other parts of the country, we can feed the world. If we can develop agriculture, only the industry of agriculture, we will be able to be a nation that will feed ourselves in all seasons, but also to feed Africa and to feed the rest of the world.
Meanwhile, Pastor Michael Shimuli of Christian Discipleship Ministries has called on Ugandans to maintain peace and refrain from violence amidst the forthcoming elections.
And I would like to speak to all the Ugandans. We are coming into time of election, and it's my prayer that we observe peace, that the peace of the Lord will prevail in this nation, in the land of Uganda. And I pray that we'll stay together, we'll be united and remain Ugandans even after.
University leaders under their umbrella body, the Inter-University Guild Leaders Network, have added their voices to call for peace and unity during the forthcoming general elections. They urge for a high spirit of patriotism to ensure that the country remains united. The leaders were chaired by Youth MP for Eastern Region, Bernard Onen.
With a few days to the general elections, more voices keep flowing from different corners, calling for peace and unity.
We would love to encourage all of you in this country, even if you're not a student, please keep this peace, because we have been a peaceful country for about 40 years, and that's an achievement.
University leaders under their umbrella body, the Inter-University Guild Leaders Network, believe that the country has achieved a lot of gains worth fighting for.
We request all Ugandans to respect and exhibit highest levels of tranquility and order so that we can maintain a peaceful society thereafter. Henceforth, we equally want to request that once not provoked, the security operatives should not act out of hand. In the long run, we want to have a Uganda that we shall continue to live in and be proud of for the next 5 years.
This time we have decided to stand firm, to come up with a voice, to demobilize violence and each and every violent act that can come up during this time of elections and even after.
In the past elections, the country faced several acts of violence which have sparked concerns from all walks of life. The leaders were cheered by Youth MP for Eastern Region, Bernard Onen, who says a calm environment for voters is a responsibility that should be adhered to by all players.
The decisions that our leaders are going to make will affect you and I in equal measure for the next 5 years. And so you are duty bound to make that choice. You're duty bound to protect and ensure there's peaceful election, and let no one mislead you.
Uganda is to hold elections next week on 15th January 2026. Meanwhile, a section of members of the NRM National Youth Council are demanding for accountability of 3 billion shillings, which they say was promised by the party chairman, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
We are not here because we have not mobilized. If you have been following us keenly, we have been part of the president's trail. From as far as West Nile till central Uganda, we have been part of the struggle. Our dismay and our pain is, why has our facilitation come and it has not reached to us?
The members staged a peaceful protest from Makerere to the NRM Secretariat, demanding accountability of the said funds. They were led by their national treasurer, Godfrey Frank Kamukama.
Naye ffe tuwulira nti nezaffe zajja naye wakati wa president yazireleasinga ne wano tetumanyi ziriwa.
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
Ugandans and travel agencies facilitating travel to the United States have expressed concern over a new U.S. government policy requiring visa bonds ranging between $5,000 to $15,000 for certain travelers. The visa bond policy was introduced by the United States in August 2025, initially targeting travelers from 13 countries, including Uganda. By January, the policy had been extended to over 38 countries. We have more details.
The United States remains one of the most preferred destinations for travelers, particularly from Africa. However, many visitors reportedly overstay their visas, remaining in the country even after their authorized stay expires. Some enter the U.S. as tourists or business visitors, but later fail to leave on time. Due to this increasing number of visa overstays, the U.S. government introduced a visa bond in August 2025. Under this policy, visitors traveling to the United States for tourism or business are required to deposit between $5,000 and $15,000. If a visitor leaves the country before the visa expires, the bond is refunded in full.
It is something that is going to basically affect or apply to people applying for the short stay visas or visit visas, that is the B1/B2 visas in the USA. If you're able to go in the country and then do not overstay your visa and come back before or on the date that you decided to come back, or you reported or documented that you'll be returning, I assure you that if they have pinned you to pay this policy or this amount of money, you're going to be refunded.
The introduction of this new visa bond requirement has caused fear and uncertainty among travelers and travel agencies.
This shouldn't worry you about applying the B1/B2 visas. So it's a consular's feeling, opinion, how you presented your case, how you presented your answers to him or her. So it shouldn't discourage you from applying B1/B2 visa.
Joseph Lutaraka, a consultant in international travel and U.S. immigration process, says travelers must remain alert and comply with changing immigration laws.
I want to encourage you, get ready for all this process. I encourage you to come at Harvey World to guide you how you can approach the entire process of traveling on B1, B2 visa to the United States of America.
The visa bond is assessed during the visa interview stage, where applicants are required to justify the reason for traveling to the United States. The bond requirement does not apply to students traveling for education purposes.
This policy is put because of the so many people who go and tend to stay or seek asylum in this country. So they're putting things that are making us come back after we have gotten the visas.
And with that, UBC News Tonight has come to an end. Thank you so much for your company this evening. Don't forget, we are showing the match at 10 o'clock. Keep it UBC. Good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The program has met our expectations in that it has been able to give